You need to be on. I think we're live.
Are we live?
You are live. It says so. Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live.
Late live.
Late live. Live at 9. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, your family, whatever you're supposed to do. Hit a button here, do a thumbs up there, do all those things, and share and tell everyone you know. And while you're doing that, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right now, and I'm going to go share it.
What am I going to do right now?
Well, you say go like and share.
Hi, like and share.
Well, they like and share.
You already told them to do that.
Okay, well, while they're doing
Am
that.
I just repeating myself now?
Yeah.
Like and share, repeating myself.
You're so dumb. Eat some candies. We have all this candy left. I even took a big back to work.
I made her a care package.
Yes, and people were like, "Oh, tell Bobby Blakey thank you." And then by day 2, they're like, "Tell Bobby Blakey F you."
It was like a big package.
It went from thank you
so
to F
so
you
my lovely
quickly.
wife is a firm believer in buying lots of candy in hopes.
I always buy lots of candy.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
I had this. It was this one. I threw in
Oh,
there.
are there peanut butter cups?
I threw this one in there.
Ay, cochino. Don't do that.
And she always anticipates trying to have a lot of trick-or-treaters.
I try to.
We also want to have enough candy that when we give people candy, we give like these big handfuls, not like, here's one for you, or one for you. Screw that.
Don't do that.
We can't necessarily afford to be the full-size candy bar family, but we're sure as hell going to give you a big handful.
Always.
But alas, as we kind of feared,
The COVID
destroyed.
COVID's just
We had literally, what, 3? Maybe
yeah,
4?
well, the first one was one little boy. He was the cutest thing. I don't know if he was a dinosaur or something else.
I thought he was part of PJ Masks.
I don't know what that is, but
I only know because I worked at Spirit. I had to put those
think I'm gonna learn because of the kid. We call her the kid.
And we have a new grandchild.
Baby.
The child.
The child.
Huh?
And now if we get her a little,
Shoot me the asset.
we can get her a bunch of Star Wars things.
I'm gonna start referring to her with my son. When are you gonna bring over the asset?
Well, anyways, and then we had another group. It was a group of like 4 teenagers. And, they just put on some masks and came out. The guy
had
they weren't
out causing shenanigans.
No, he had a trash bag. And then he's like, I can't see in this mask. Because I was like, okay, who's next? And he was still standing there. He's like, oh, I can't see in my mask. It was a big unicorn, wasn't it? Yeah, the big unicorn head. And he's like, I can't see in my mask. I'm like, that's cool. Who's next?
And I am a firm believer in teenagers allowing trick-or-treat as long as they put some semblance of effort and they're polite.
Yeah, they were all polite. One girl was a skater chick.
That's probably her every day. But she carried the skateboard all around the neighborhood, and that's commitment.
Fine. Who knows?
I remember trick-or-treating in high school as a senior. A bunch of us just went out. And initially we just went out walking and hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, let's trick-or-treat. So we threw on a couple of masks, and we got doors slammed in our face. We got told to go away. And then we got some people give us things. I liked it. This one old lady, I remember, I like that y'all are out here and not doing the drugs.
Well, see? There you go. That's a good reason to give them candy.
I'm like, you don't know, maybe we have the munchies because we just did a bunch of drugs, but whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, so alas, she spent all this money on candy. We didn't give out that much.
So
we have bags and bags and bags
of candy. Not that much. We have like 2 big bags. Well, here's the thing. I love that you did this. He went through
I was so bored one day.
He sorted the candy out by the types. I would do that.
I know, but I'm not like super OCD. I was cleaning the kitchen, and I was just like, I don't like just folding and putting things away because then I have to dig through it. And then here's what, I don't think I told you this part of it. What started this is I'm the only one that eats Almond Joys because she doesn't like coconut. So I was literally taking all the Almond Joys out.
Okay.
I was going to take them and put them up in my candy thing in my office.
I see.
And as I was doing that,
you're like, well,
I was taking everything out.
As well put these Snickers.
Well, no,
here,
I was like digging things, I was taking handfuls out of my way.
Yeah.
And then I started moving stuff, and then I just started. Next thing you know, I'm sorting candy, and I've got like Ziploc bags out, and
that's exactly how I eat candy. Like M&Ms, I sort by color.
So now, if you go to my, that's weird. But now, if you want candy, you tell us what you want, and we'll bring out that Ziploc bag.
Oh my god.
Anyway, let's talk about movies. That's not why we're here. We're not here about candy.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I got some couple things that I've seen that you haven't. You've got something you've seen, and then we got something we thought together.
Okay.
And since we're starting a little so late, we're gonna try to not go as long-winded as normal. But what would you like to start? Let's tell us about yours today. I always go first. Tell us about your whatever weirdo movie you watched this week. Because it's usually crap. Just tell us about what crap you watched this time. I'm gonna see if there's an
It is not a weirdo movie. It is a sweet little Netflix movie called Operation Christmas Drop. What is it? Almond Joy?
There's no more left in the house. This is the gold mine, yeah.
Oh, you didn't go through this bag.
No.
Anyways, okay, Operation Christmas Drop. It's available on Netflix now. So Netflix has started putting out Christmas movies. It seems like every week there's a new one. Can you be louder?
I've done it on purpose. Sorry. Go ahead.
It seems like they're putting out a new little Christmas movie every week, similar to how Hallmark has the Weeks of Christmas.
Oh no, I saw you post on Facebook about all the music. Did you just see my comment? I just wrote no.
Yeah. I said the Christmas movies are calling to me. So this was a cute movie. It stars, I have to go look up the real names because otherwise I'm going to tell you it's Bonnie Bennett from Vampire Diaries. Her real name is Kat Graham. And it has Bjorn Ironside, who's from Vikings, but his real name is Alexander Ludwig. Okay.
This is my life, and she tells me, look, right before the show started.
I'm like, this movie with Bjorn Ironside.
I wasn't paying attention to what she was even talking about. She's talking about Ludwig being Beethoven over here being in this movie, but she referred to him as Vikings character. And I stopped watching Vikings after like season 3.
Oh, no.
And I look over it and I'm like, that is not who that is. Because I'm thinking she's saying the actor's name. And first of all, Ironside was a detective, I think, in a wheelchair. Michael Ironside died, but
my gosh.
So I'm looking at, or no, maybe Michael Ironside didn't die. John Saxon died. But anyway. Michael Ironside, I was like, that's surely not Michael Ironside. I'm like, honey, that is not him. And she's like getting all mad and indignant about it. And then she goes, from Vikings. And I'm like, oh my God.
Anyhow, obviously it's a little romantic Christmas movie. They're looking at maybe closing out this base in Guam because it's not really doing anything.
And this has nothing to do with Operation Dumbo Drop.
No.
Okay.
It has to do with Operation Christmas Drop. So basically, they go and, of course, they're trying to save the base and deliver the toys for Christmas.
Of course they are.
But the cool thing is, forget about all that. This is actually based on the true Operation Christmas Drop, which has been happening since the 1950s. It is the longest-running humanitarian airdrop mission that the United States has been involved in, and it's grown to include Japan and some of the other Asian countries. And the base is in Guam, and every Christmas, they drop not just toys, but clothes,
elephants,
medical supplies. There are no elephants, books. What's the thing when you lose power?
Electricity,
generators, fishing nets. They reuse the parachutes to make sails for their boats. I mean, these people are out there on these little islands, and they just depend on these supplies to help them, because a lot of the kids, like if they can have the generators to get internet, then the kids can do school online. Oh my gosh.
You thought I made it up, didn't you?
No, but this is actually based on the true thing. And what I liked about this movie is, of course, I like seeing Alexander Ludwig because he's cute, and Bonnie Bennett's cute. I mean, Kat Graham, she's cute.
Let's compare the cast for your movie and my Operation Dumbo Drop movie.
Oh my gosh.
So you have these two yahoos?
Yes.
My Operation Dumbo Drop movie, Danny Glover, Ray Liotta, Dennis Leary, Dougie Doug, and Corin Nemec.
Dougie Doug. Oh my gosh.
I love Dougie Doug.
Okay, anyways, in the movie, one of the guys who's the real life operator who has been in communication with all of these. Yeah.
I mean, in real life?
In real life, his name is Bob or Bill or something.
Is this his movie in the game, or is his real name?
His real name. He's in the movie playing himself.
So then you just lied to me, because that was his name in the movie as well.
Yeah, it was his name. But he's like the operator that's been on the line, talking to all these different islands and keeping them connected for years. So I mean, it's actually really amazing. And throughout the movie, you see how the donations arrive, and that's exactly how it happens. The military base does not waste any public funding or government funding on it. It's all volunteer hours. Everyone donates all of the stuff. They do it on their time off, when they're not on call. They come to the hangars and they're filling up the bags, and their spouses and their kids that are on base. So we need to
actually know, outside of the thing, is this movie any good?
It's actually a really cute little movie. Love story? It is a little bit, but it's cute.
So is it one of those
something? And I cry because at the end it has a proper ending for a real story.
Is it one of those that they could have done a story about the actual Operation Christmas Drop thing of a creation and doing it stuff and been a more intriguing story, or they just took that element and then infused some silly
romantic story on top of it.
That
but it was cute and it was worth it because I guess I didn't correlate that the two things were happening. So we get to the end, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a true story.
Pissed watching it's not a single
it was so cute,
falling out of the sky or anything.
But it's actually really moving and emotional, and it's a very good thing. And now I want us to donate somehow.
I'm going to donate an elephant so I can finally get my Dumbo drop.
But it's actually cool because all the airmen are actually learning how to do low-level drops out of the plane, because then they use these same skills when they get deployed to like Afghanistan and Iraq, and we're really doing medical supplies during like war times and stuff. They've been trained on how to do it, so it's actually serving a purpose. So it's a really good movie. It's on Netflix now. Operation Christmas Drop. If you like these two actors, which I know you do, because I do, go watch it. I like her. She's from.
I'm sure she's okay.
Vampire Diaries mostly.
You've said it 30 times already.
Okay,
stop promoting the show that's been canceled.
She's the voice of April O'Neil on the new Ninja Turtles show.
Oh, which one?
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Click on it because I believe that's the crappy one.
Haters.
Yep, that's why they cast her.
Well,
crap show. All right.
Haters.
That's the one that replaced my other show.
Haters gonna hate.
That's one that replaced the really good one.
Oh,
so irritating.
Oh yes.
The new one's okay. It's more cartoony, silly. But that other one had the darkness. And
all right, so, darkness. Okay, what do you want to watch?
Metal Cut.
You got
Let's jump to Triggered first.
Okay.
I'll do that one kind of quick. So this next one is kind of one of those independent kind of flicks. It's a movie called Triggered. No, it is not about Roy Rogers' horse. It is a horror thriller, kind of Saw meets Battle Royale / Hunger Games.
Thing on his chest.
So it's about this group of kids, teenagers or whatever, that are camping. They're basically drugged and taken, but when they're not taken, they're drugged. And when they wake up, they all have these vests on that are bombs. So
no, thank you.
Now they don't get a choice. So now they're basically being forced to fight each other and kill each other. And it's like if you look at the little cover art, the little blue thing, you have the time, but it also tells like you're high scorer and you're the low scorer or whatever. So essentially, you just knocked Spike over, and I think you hit the dog. Yep. Sorry, Vader.
Sorry.
So why did you use that image? That's a bad pic. That's a whole cool. Anyway,
that's what I had.
So what happens is it then becomes one of those things where
you're just hating tonight. Go ahead.
But it becomes one of those movies that it becomes the horrific element of the people and their real life relationship problems come out, the betrayals that you find out because they're wanting to kill each other to survive, and so it finds out those kind of things. So it's actually not a bad movie. It was pretty enjoyable. It's predictable kind of thing because you've seen it before. I didn't mention Hunger Games in my review for this, even though it's a similar ideal, because Hunger Games was stolen from Battle Royale, which that was fight till I'm blue in the face about. But that one was more the ideas because it had the bomb around their neck. This one they're wearing a bomb on their chest, and it really becomes about all those people. And sadly, or not sadly, most of the characters aren't overly likable, so you're really eager to watch them die. It's like that was my biggest issue with the film, that there was nobody there that I was really
redeemable.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted these people to die. They were so annoying to me. So that part was a little off. I always like at least having one or two characters that you can like or enjoy, or even if they're a prick, they're kind of funny to watch, Yeah. But in this one, it was like, finding out these people had an affair, and this person says you're pregnant, and this person then, and then somebody killing somebody out of anger, and then realizing, oh my God, I got my friend. It's a lot of that. So it's actually an entertaining movie. So if you like those kind of things, it's a fun little movie. It's got some great kills, especially for a lower budget. It's a short run time. It works exactly for what it is. Okay. So it's available now.
There you go.
So,
all right.
Do you want me to talk about the other one, or do you want to talk about something together? Because I have that other one.
You talk about this one?
Sure, it's an older movie. So this would fall in the category of movies Drusilla's never seen.
Yes.
Which I didn't realize that because I thought she had seen it. But we talked about last week about it coming out. This week we had V for Vendetta hitting the 4K treatment.
Yeah.
So she throws up the original poster. And as you can see, this is the new 4K release image here on the front of the box in front of this candy bowl, which is kind of a lame-o thing. Hopefully they won't knock this off with the dog.
It's the dog again.
And what's sad is this movie is so relatable to the world right
Oh
now.
my gosh.
So it's based on a comic book. It was Alan Moore, and who's one of those guys who he did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, he did Watchmen, and he has nothing to do with Hollywood because he hates every adaptation they've ever done. So any money that he usually makes, he either refuses it or does not want his name on stuff because he thinks Hollywood is a bunch of troglodytes. He's also a wizard.
Is he really?
Or a
warlock?
Warlock, yes.
That's a witch, not a wizard.
Whatever. He's one of those guys.
Okay, well, good for him.
Practices the occult, I believe, and everything.
Like dark magic or white magic?
I'm sure.
Oh.
He's a writer, wears all like the big dragon rings, and he's very he's a little nutty, but he's a genius writer.
Whatever you want,
and it's funny, because he's written all kinds of stuff. He's written, you know.
You didn't like the adaptation of the Watchmen?
No, he hated it.
I thought it was very close to it.
It's almost identical, but it's just, I think a lot of it is more of his stigma of him hating Hollywood and how many times he's been screwed. He also is not a big fan of the comic industry, to my knowledge, anymore, because he's been screwed over numerous times on different things.
That's fine.
So anyway, now, for anybody that doesn't know what the movie is about, why don't you tell them what the movie is about first, if you think you can explain it.
The movie basically takes place in some sort of an alternate future, I guess, where we are in the UK, and the person that's in power and the government that's in power is very controlling, but it's kind of scary controlling. Like, you're not allowed, I feel like, to be happy at all.
It's like taking everything away.
You're not allowed to be gay. You get taken away. If you're in a gay relationship, like, you get shipped away.
Yeah. I don't think they have like art or books or anything.
There's no like music and art and all that stuff's taken away. And I feel like the only station is just them spewing their propaganda.
Yeah.
You know? And you're not allowed to have any free thought at all. Right?
That sounds very idealistic today.
So I had never seen this, and I was actually like shocked, and I did actually cry, because there's this one scene where what's her real name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
She gets thrown into prison because she's helping speak out against the government or whatever. Yeah. And she's this lady, I guess, in the cell next to her, secretly passing her notes. And the lady's just telling her story that she fell in love with this lady. But then one day she got taken away. And her girlfriend got taken away. And then she got taken away. And I was like crying during that scene, because I'm like, you can't do that to people. Like you
can, and people have been doing it. It's the same way, like this kind of people have been being taken away.
That's what I'm thinking. In other countries,
they do that kind of stuff.
And like in some of the Arab countries, you totally get taken. You get killed.
Well, that's kind of
what, that's you can't do that to people.
That's a lot of the crazy comparison this movie has.
It was shocking.
And it's funny, depending on the side of today you're on.
Yeah.
Of which party you're looking at or whatever, you interpret this movie differently. So like, it's not the overall lining of the movie is very obvious. You've got the overpowering government that's controlling your speech and your thoughts and your lives and everything else, and you have the people rising up and saying, we're not going to take it anymore idea, all wrapped in a superhero like film.
Correct.
Vigilante-ish, whatever.
Correct.
And it's funny, because through all this stuff, you see people taking this movie and one person saying, if you vote Democrat, this is what you're going to get. If you vote Republican, this is what you're going to get. Everybody takes the exact same problem and blames it on the other because it fits their agenda.
Correct.
But what I find, this is one of those things, the character V, to me,
he's the guy in the mask.
Yes.
With the little knives.
Voiced by Hugo Weaving. I don't believe he played him in the suit. I believe it was originally, oh my God. I forgot the guy's name. Somebody else, I believe, was originally cast as him. Maybe he played most of it. Anyway, somebody else, I believe, was originally cast him as, and they changed it. But Hugo Weaving, if you don't know Hugo Weaving, he's Agent Smith in The Matrix. He was the Red Skull in Captain America. He's been in a ton of stuff. He's Mr. Anderson.
That guy.
And his voice work in this movie is awesome because it's very proper. It's elegant. It has that rhyming scheme, and it's filled with like emotion and power, and you never see his face. You never see it. I mean, you never see his mouth move. Yeah,
he's like a vigilante, kind of going against the system. And I was getting, just based on just seeing the guy and hearing the voice, I was getting a very much a Robin Hood, but old school Robin Hood vibe.
Yeah, it was actually based on Robin. It wasn't Robin Hood. Who was it?
Who's the guy that played Robin Hood though?
Errol Flynn.
Earl Flynn. That's what I was getting.
He based his performance on one of those old things like that. It wasn't that, but I remember reading something about. I don't remember what it is now, but
it's so good. This is such a good movie.
And for
how did I miss this?
Because you're a crazy person. I forgot how much action is actually in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it. I remember loving the movie when it came out. I've never read the comic, so I know it's been changed. In the movie, it's in London. In the comics, it's America.
Right.
There's different ideals that they changed for the book to the screen. But I remember liking the movie. But honestly, when I sat down to watch it again, I was preparing myself for all the propaganda because that's what I remember because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
But I forgot how much badass action is because he doesn't use any guns. It's all these knives and cool shots. And it was produced and written, I believe, written and produced by the Wachowskis, who did the Matrix movies. I think it's Lana and something else now because they're both ladies now.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them trained. And then the director is McTiernan? McTeague. James McTeague did it. And also, talking about going back to Alan Moore, he also did From Hell. He wrote From Hell. He wrote The Killing Joke. So he had a lot of different varieties of stuff. So anyway, so what did you think of the movie overall? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I mean, I think Natalie Portman did a great job because you see her transformation from really kind of buttoned down, uptight, just follow the rules to like, this is wrong.
This was kind of her transition movie out of Star Wars too. Is she had done Star Wars? You know, when she did Star Wars, most of us only knew her from The Professional as a kid. Good. She did the Star Wars, and this was kind of her anti-Star Wars movie. That's not necessarily why she took it, I don't think, but there was a thing about it. She was really excited to get to shave her head because she had been wanting to do it. So she was able to do it for the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I thought it was great. I loved it.
It is great. It's a great movie, and this new 4K release is available now, and we're doing a giveaway on this one so you can have a chance to win it.
There you go.
So if you're looking for
it could be yours.
All right, so you want me to talk about my other one?
Yeah.
I've been very excited to talk to you about it. I'm really bummed that you didn't get to watch it.
I need to watch it. Just reading
I will watch it again now that I've seen it. So here's the thing. I don't know how much you actually read about it. The movie's called Memories of Murder. Of a murder? Of murder? Of
Memories of Murder.
So the premise is it's loosely based on a true story of a serial killer in Korea, I believe it is. And,
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, and they were finding the bodies usually strangled by like their stockings. A lot of times they have like the person's panties on their head. There was sexual assault. Now here's what's intriguing about this movie is they never show any of the attacks. This is not it's a mystery thriller because it's all about who did it, right? But you see maybe a semblance of it. You never get a resolution of the killer. And the reason is because when this movie was made, I think in 2007, is that what it is? I just need to pull it up anyway because I need to be able to remember the guy's name as I say it. This movie is an older movie, so you might ask, why is this movie getting released now?
Good question.
The movie was released because of the popularity of the people behind it.
Yes, which I love when that happens.
I thought it, so. Anyway, the movie takes place in 2003. The movie takes place in the 80s, right? It's written and directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, which is why this movie is getting released.
Yes, and I love when that
happens. Also stars Song Kang-ho, who stars in Parasite as well. This was their first time collaboration. They've done a few movies.
This was the dad, right?
Yes, they've done a few movies together. And so the premise in the movie is he's a detective, not the director, but the actor. He's a detective. Then there's this other new detective that comes up, and then there's his partner. And so it's these trifecta detectives all trying to. This other detective came from a different place, and so they kind of butt heads a little bit. There's some whole dirty cop stuff. There's stuff of them, and they're not dirty cops from a standpoint of that they're taking bribes and trying to do things wrong. Is they're willing to do things to try to get this murder solved.
I see.
And it's really more about these three guys and their obsession and trying to solve this murder and the craziness that it puts them through. It drives them all to kind of a brink of insanity of trying to solve this murder. And the reason I tell you that there's no resolution to the end of it is because it's very important to understand the story. But they release this movie not only now because of, I guess, its anniversary, the popularity of the guys involved with Parasite, but it was released to almost the year. It's 17 years later and a year after the real murderer was identified. And he apparently was in prison for something else. And then before that person, I believe he died, but he admitted to them.
Oh my God.
So it's just now been solved. The final shot of the movie, which I'm going to tell the final shot of the movie because it's not really a spoiler. You can throw it up there, but it's not a spoiler.
I'm going to throw it.
But it's literally just a visual of the guy looking at the camera, right? The main detective. And the symbolization of it, you may not even catch it. And this is the reason I'm telling you, you may not catch it watching it. But I won't tell you why it happens and when it happens, but it's almost like you are finding out the murder hasn't been solved and part of the real story. But he looks at the camera like he's realizing he's looking at the murder watching the movie. And the director, and I knew this because I read an interview that said when he made this movie, they still didn't know who the killer was. He figured the killer would probably watch this movie. So he was like, we see you, we know you're there. It's a very chilling moment, but it's a very simplistic way.
Oh my gosh, I got chills.
This is up there as probably, if you were rating it, it's like a 10. It's like a brilliant piece of film. And it's got some violence in it. It's got corruption. It's got insanity. It's got like the special needs guy who they think is involved in the murder, and they keep badgering him and his family. And then there's this other guy they consider convinced it's him, but then it's not. It's like it takes you on this ride. It's kind of long and it's subtitled. And like
I love it.
It is. Okay. It's so good.
Since this was made before Parasite, but we saw Parasite before this. Is the style similar?
It's very similar because it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Obviously, same director.
Because I was going to say there's a shot like that in Parasite. I feel like where you see the guy, the dad, the actor, have the realization of like, I'm like he's stuck in this house.
Yeah, it's very much like that.
Of realization. Yeah,
it's very
so I'm
much
wondering if like that
kind of thing. But I'm talking. The shot is this close to his face, and he's like doing something, and then he just kind of goes. It's not even like abrupt where he's like doing this and goes like this. He's doing like this, and he just kind of slowly looks up like he sees you, and it's like, and then it just kind of ends, and you're like, and what's crazy about the shot, and the reason I don't want to tell you the setup, is it's not even during an investigation. It's a total random shot, and it makes it so awesome on how it's set up. So it's not spoiling anything in the movie. And
just the pictures of the things look really eerie.
And me telling you that they didn't solve the murder is not spoiling the movie either because it's well known.
Yeah.
At that time, and even I think in the synopsis, it may even say of an unsolved murder.
Man.
Now there's elements to the movie that were not actually part of the real case. It was kind of a based on the ideas of what happened and things like this. So I don't think these same detectives were part of that. I think this was like a made up part of it. I don't know.
Is like the picture that we saw, is that really how they found?
You're talking about like the scarecrow type?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, there might have been one or two. Most of them, they were just found in like a field on the sides of the road. And like I said, they had that picture you look at. If you really look at it, that's like their clothes or their pair of underwear on the head.
I see.
It's that kind of idea. And then the lady in the back is one of the people that they were like, is the idea of her being the victim and this being the murder.
I see.
So it's very intriguing.
I'm intrigued just because I loved Parasite and I know.
I think this is better than Parasite.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a perfect film.
I know a lot of people did not like Parasite. I don't know why.
I can understand why. I can understand people not liking this movie.
It might have been. Well, see, I think it was a little chaotic, but I got it.
This movie is more of a slow burn as it goes, and I'm
gonna like it.
And despite it being coming out, what did we say, 2003?
Yes.
It will probably be on my top 10 for this year.
Really?
Because of it's getting released this year. And here's what they did was kind of cool is. It's available now, like on demand. You can online rent it.
Yeah.
Which we'll pay for to rent if you want to watch. Because I'll watch it again.
I don't care.
But they did a Fathom Events 2-night event, like on the 19th and 20th of October, and then immediately released it on demand or digital.
Eligible for awards too, right?
No, I don't think they are because of the year it was made. It's not a production from this year or whatever. So I don't think they.
I'm excited. I loved Parasite.
It is so good.
Anyway. And Okay, and I have to read it, right?
Yes, it is in Korean.
Get over it.
You have to read the film.
Don't be those people. I don't watch movies with
I loved it.
subtitles.
It's again, it's going in my top 10. I don't care that it's an older movie. It got released this year to the States. So as far as I'm concerned,
It's today. It's
qualifies.
this year. Okay, we got 2 more.
All right.
Where do you want to go? This one or this one?
Which one you want to go with?
I don't care.
Pick one. I don't care. You go.
Let's just go with this.
All right.
We'll continue on long
All right.
lines.
So this next one I thought was a horror film. It's directed by Brandon Cronenberg, the son of David Cronenberg.
Yes.
Who, I think David Cronenberg, didn't he do The Fly? He's done a lot of stuff. But he's known for kind of making these weird movies. I think he did Rabid too. Excuse me, I should have had this ready before him, but I didn't.
Director of The Fly.
He did The Fly, but he's also done
things.
Yeah, he did Dead Ringers. He did The Fly. He did. He's done a lot of his movies. This is David Cronenberg. A lot of his movies come out but he also did stuff like A History of Violence, Eastern Promises,
yeah,
with your boyfriend.
Like we know why I like Eastern Promises.
Yes, because you're a pervert. That's why. But he did The Dead Zone and Scanners and stuff like that. Yeah, he did the original Rabid, which the Soska sisters remade. But Brandon Cronenberg is his son, and he's, I believe, written and directed this new one. I thought from the visuals it was a horror film.
I mean, look at this image.
Yeah, and in fact, it's really more of a sci-fi thriller.
Very much.
So before we get into the movie itself, or before my thoughts on this film, why don't you tell everyone what's it about?
Okay, so this movie is about actually a lady pictured here in the image.
Who has a skin problem.
How do I don't want to give anything away.
You can read the synopsis that I posted with the trailer, with the review.
So
that's the synopsis from the studio.
Yeah, let's do that because I want to make sure I'm not saying anything spoilery.
Gotta be careful though, because the studio sometimes spoils stuff.
Well, they're dumb. Hold on, where is it?
Why is it not? It should be up.
Refresh. Well,
mine shows it right there.
Hold on.
Did you not refresh it?
I'm refreshing. Okay.
There it goes. Why was yours not on there?
I don't know what it's
Was it up and open from earlier today?
Yes.
Okay, that's why, because I'd refresh it during the day.
It's not doing anything.
Oh, you mean do it?
Yeah, read.
All right.
Sorry, I don't know why my computer's
because you dumb face. All right. Just like that lady. You look like that lady.
Wow.
It follows Tasya Voss, a corporate agent who uses brain implant technology to inhabit other people's bodies, driving them to commit assassinations for the benefit of the company. So she has a special gift for her work. Experiencing jobs that cause her dramatic change in her and her life as she struggles with the violent memories and dealing with the stuff that she's dealing with. And the mental strain also makes her slowly kind of start to lose it, but also causes some drama with her family.
Correct. Okay, so the possessor part is literally via this implant technology, she's taking over lives, and so she's kind of, I guess, possessing their bodies. Y'all, this movie's strange.
But I guess we should explain how that's possible. How they can just take over different random people's bodies.
There's an implant.
I know, but everybody, you told me, because I think I walked out at one point, you said everybody has the implant, right? Or just certain people that kidnap, right? Because I missed a small piece in the movie. So yeah, the people they take, they do an implant and then they connect. So if they did an implant and you an implant and me and they connect us through the line, the interwebs. Here's the thing that's really interesting about this movie. It's also set kind of in a futuristic timeline. It's a future that looks exactly the same as our time now.
The weird thing is that every single home and every single room in your home is being monitored by the government.
Shocking.
Okay. So maybe a future reality that's not too far away from our future. The interesting thing is that they're watching everything, and there's people whose sole job is to review the films every day. Yeah, but each person's looking for different things.
Yeah, so like the one guy, the main guy that you see in the movie, he's talking about curtains.
Yes, like he's reviewing all these films, and there's people just playing, and he's like, curtains, pleated, brown. Next thing. But then you get into one where these people are actually like having sex, but he's supposed to ignore that and look at the curtains and be like, cheers, blue, non-pleated.
But he gets distracted watching the sex for a second.
And then they're like, why are you taking so long? Are you okay? And so I'm just blown away by this whole reality. in which everything you do is monitored, because guess what? Everything we do is monitored, babe. Like, they're watching us right now through our camera. Oh, we're on YouTube.
What?
And Facebook.
You mean people are watching me with my electronic devices that I use every day?
Yeah.
What?
But then, people talk about privacy issues, but we're putting it out there.
They're like,
so
the argument, though, that I get from a lot of people when I make that statement about, you complain about, they're not going to chip me, and you're not going to do this, and you're not going to do that. And they're posting that information on the Facebook. And I'm like, okay, but you're posting this on Facebook through your cell phone with all this information that you got by giving this company all of your information so they can bill you for this information.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, but I made that choice to give this information, so I have control. I'm like, you have control of dick.
Yeah.
The moment, like, everybody has everything. Our DNA is at every doctor's office you've ever given blood at.
Yep.
Every time you've gotten a flu shot, all they got to do is take the needle and say, okay, we have some other DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Your driver's license gives everybody your information, your government ID that we all have, your social security number when you're born. Your information's out there. Just don't do shit wrong.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about.
That's kind of the one thing that was kind of struck me as like in your face, like, oh yeah, it's true. And then to know there's people watching it, I'm like, yeah, that's true too. But I guess the reason that's important is because they're able to track where everyone is. They know everyone's schedule. That's how the lady's able to plot these assassination things, because they know where everyone's going to be.
Well, and cool too. One thing I like too is that when she goes in there, she still retains their memories and hers. So it's not one of those cases where the person has to suddenly figure out, oh my God, I got to figure out who I am and act all weird around everybody else. It takes them a little time to acclimate.
Yeah, they have to reacclimate. But I
guess...
guess
what's crazy is the even though the lady's Andrea Riseborough is the main chick, she's actually not in the film that much because she's inhabiting this other person, Christopher Abbott's body. So he's the one that has to carry the load of most of the film. And it's interesting because he does a really good job, in my opinion, of balancing between the Abbott character and the lady character, doing the same thing with the interactions with the different people.
Yeah.
And then also the two different people inside him now.
Correct. And I feel like there's moments where she loses control and he loses control, and so he has to balance that in his acting. And there's just one thing that I thought was so funny when she first inhabits him and she sees herself in the mirror and she's looking and she's looking at her junk, because I guess she's not been a man before, so she's like,
or she is, or she just wants to see what he's packing.
I guess, I don't know.
Well, I guarantee it, but that's
bizarre.
It's one of those things that you think, oh, that's so silly. But it's the one thing that everybody, anytime you've ever seen one of these body switch movies, what's the first thing everybody does? They look at their boobs or they look at their penis to see what they're packing. I really dug this movie.
I thought it was so
weird. Once I sat with it, when it ended, I was like, maybe it's kind of boring. Once I sat with it, I realized how much I really liked it.
And I liked the visuals and the internal view and struggle of the mind. Like, you can see the mind going back and forth.
Yeah, the transference effects that they did were awesome.
That was kind of cool.
And even though this isn't a horror film, there's some like hardcore gore in the film with some of the assassinations, because this lady has this thing about blunt force trauma, not guns.
Correct.
So like she's stabbing people or beating people or whatever. So it's excessively violent.
Yeah, even though she has a gun, but she's like,
she puts it down and picks up something else, and like gouging eyeballs and broken teeth and smashing faces. And
the other thing that was interesting,
she still uses her gun.
Yeah,
but
what you see in the image and the posters and the trailer and everything, it really is about her and her just not being able to really do this anymore. Like it's becoming too much, and her. I think she's losing herself.
Yeah, like this image of poster I'm like thing, even though that's really just an image of her transitioning from one mind to the other. It's kind of what that is. It's really, to me, also about her losing pieces of herself every time she does this.
Yeah.
And kind of losing grip with reality and herself and life.
And that's what I thought then brings me back to the beginning of everything being monitored, everything out there. Like, is that what's really literally happening to us as a society? Like, we are putting so much out there, you're giving it all away. And
every time people make these pictures of those little things like you with the cats and their face recognition things and stuff, people using these face recognition things baffle me. And I'm like, I know we're already being watched, so I don't live that delusion of like fear of that, but I'm like, you're just doing facial recognition on this app you think is, look at the fun, And then you've basically given all your face recognition out there. You know, it's the same thing.
I know, but
I done my facial recognition on my phone. I was so against getting this phone, and you're like, it's facial recognition and thumbprints, and I'm like, oh. But now I looked at it and opened my phone. So whoever's monitoring my phone on the other side has 50 billion images of my face going.
Well, and they also have your thumbprint.
I know. That's why I got over it, because it's the same freaking thing.
What I was going to tie this back to, though, was a few weeks ago when we talked about social dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
And remember how they were talking about the instances now in teenagers and tweens and young children, the instances of anxiety disorders, of depression, of the whole body dysmorphia. Now people want to look like the filtered apps.
Yeah.
Like girls are wanting to go get surgery. Like that's what this image reminds me of, that we are just so not
you know, the new popular one now is putting your face on the celebrity movies and videos, and
yeah,
you know,
like we're not even us anymore. And the desire to be something else or someone else, like this whole Possessor thing, I thought that to me was the correlation that I took from it.
What's funny is this to me,
which maybe that's too deep.
No, I think it is. I think you're accurate, but I think it's ironic that the mentality of wanting to be somewhere else started off with a crime of stealing someone's identity for gain.
Yeah.
Now we're purposefully
giving
the information to be something else, but then act freaked out that someone steals our identity.
Right.
You know, like they do all the, like there's a funny meme that goes around that says, okay, I want you to do this thing, but what I need you to do is give me your pet's name, your mom's maiden name, all these things. And it's like, and the joke is obviously that's what almost everybody makes their passwords. But like, I know you had an issue with the ending, which the more I sat with it,
I got it. I think I liked it more.
I liked it too, because it was a downer of an ending, but it made sense to the narrative of her story.
I agree.
You know, and kind of how messed up it was. And then at the end of it all, I was like, what was the point of anything?
Exactly.
And that's kind of how life is. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. And I think because if you do this, there are people that literally lose themselves in the internet. They lose their lives. They lose their families for this whole idea of love or persona or whatever that's out there.
Which goes back to the movie last week. We talked about Spree, which was the guy he was more concerned with being likes and being internet famous, so he starts murdering people. Then he was about
not even real.
I know, and even then people weren't believing him.
I know.
It's a crazy world.
I do like that a lot of movies are actually bringing in all of the social and internet stuff into the movies now. I mean, it's very smart.
It's scary.
It's scary, and it's making you think. Social Dilemma still has me scared, but
well, Possessor it's actually being billed as Possessor Uncut, because the movie was released, but then it got picked up in the uncut version, which is what we saw.
Okay.
So that's why it was so graphic in the
blood. There's a lot of blood. There's blood. If you don't like blood,
it's kind of graphic. Beware. So it's horrific level, horror film level gore. Not a bunch of it, but when it's there.
Yeah.
But it's available now on digital or on demand or whatever. And then I think in December, Well Go USA is putting it out on Blu-ray. So maybe we'll have copies to give away.
Ooh.
Just saying.
I love it. Love free stuff.
All right, so let's talk about our last film.
Okay, last movie.
This is yet another one that was supposed to. Well, no, this one got a theatrical release. It was also #1 this weekend.
Yes.
That's not saying a lot the way the box office is right now, but
it went out there, and I'm thankful that things are still going out to the movies.
Few and far between.
So many things have pulled.
Well, everything's been pulled. Yeah, the only thing still sitting, to my knowledge, that's holding firm, but we're all pretty much assuming it's going to be gone for Christmas, is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is still sitting, I believe, at Christmas.
Everyone would go. Everyone would go.
I don't think they will. That's the problem.
I think they will.
Because
I'll go.
I will too.
I mean,
and we're probably going this weekend, because I don't think I'm going to get a screening for one of the big ones coming out.
It's Christmas Day. That's what we do.
Yeah, but that's also, we're still in the middle of this pandemic with the numbers going up.
You wear your mask.
I'm aware.
The movie theater is like one of the safest places.
I agree with that. I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing the society.
I'm telling you guys, the movie theater's safe. It's clean. They're using electrostatic whatever to take germs off.
The couple times we've been, it was cleaner than anywhere else we've been. So if you're somebody that's already gone out to eat, or you're going out and hanging out, then you have no reason to not go to a movie.
The movie theaters.
Now, if you're somebody that's not feeling good about doing any of that stuff, then by all means, don't go to the theater.
Go to the theater.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're not, if you're not ready to go out to a restaurant or you're not into this, then the theater to me is safer than going shopping at Walmart or going to a restaurant.
Yes, Walmart.
But at the same time, I get it. I don't begrudge people from not going to theaters because I understand the fear.
If you're really concerned.
But if you are out about, everybody needs to look at themselves like, I can't legitimately say we're not going to go to the movies while we're sitting in a restaurant. I can't tell somebody else, you need to stay home, wear your mask if I'm sitting in a restaurant. I think you should wear your mask.
Oh, yeah, wear your mask.
I think you should social distance.
I agree.
But do it safely and responsibly, because that's what's going to end up happening in this country. Because without going too far off topic, I was just reading an interview with one of the people, and they were saying that they think we'll probably have a vaccine by the end of the year, because there's a lot more to the studies. They think heading into the 2021, we'll probably start doing fine as long as people are wearing those masks and social distancing.
We're still going to be wearing these masks.
The issue we're going to have is the voluntarily taking the vaccines. Because there's going to be so many people that either don't want a vaccine, they don't vaccinate at all, they think the government's going to try to control them, and so all those people are going to avoid it. So if they're not wearing masks,
it's the mark of the devil, babe.
I'm aware of that, and I don't personally think it should be required to take a vaccine. But if you don't, then you should at least be socially responsible to wear your mask and distance from yourself. That has nothing to do with this movie we're talking about. Sorry. What is the movie we're going to watch?
I might get the vaccine. I want to go through a few rounds and wait.
Well, that's that's not going to go out until people have been doing it. That's the thing.
I want to make.
Anyway, so what is the movie we're talking about?
The movie we're talking about now is Let Him Go with Kevin Costner and Diane Lane. And
Mom, Paul, Kent.
And I remember them. Yes, they are the Kents. They're Clark's parents.
And Man of Steel.
There you go.
Somebody's message when I posted a review is, did Clark save him this time?
Oh, that was sad. Spoiler alert.
Anyway. So what is this movie about?
So this movie is about these two lovely people, and they have a son, and his son gets married and has a baby, and
they all seem to live on this ranch.
They all live on the ranch, and something happens to the son.
I'm assuming this takes place in like the 60s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah, it's based on a book, and something happens to the son, and so yeah. The lady and the baby are living with them. The
son passes away, but that is not the main part of the story.
And then she ends up marrying someone else, and they take the baby away.
Yeah, so the entire premise of this movie is them trying to
get the grandson
and the daughter-in-law back. They're actually trying to see her, but they see some abuse, so it becomes one of those things. And I honestly thought it was going to be more of a heavier revenge flick, and it's not, but I'm glad it wasn't, because it felt more real.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Costner's character is a retired sheriff.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that going into the movie, but it's in the synopsis, so I'm not spoiling.
Oh, I didn't. It just happened.
But so when I saw that, I'm like, okay, he's gonna be a badass. But he's not, and I like that. I like that it was very normal guy.
Well, he's an old dude,
he has to deal with these younger, crazy people. There's no real rhyme or reason of why these people are crazy, which makes it scarier.
Yes. They cray.
But I think what really made this movie work for me more than anything was Diane Lane and Kevin Costner.
They are so good together.
They had such good chemistry.
Like, are they not together in real life?
No, I think they're both different
aren't
people.
They?
But they seem to have such good chemistry that you really believe that these two people have been together forever.
Is that the only other movie they've done together?
I thought they did something else together.
I feel like they did too. I'm gonna go look at the internet.
But they feel like, and both their performances are very subtle.
Yes.
It's another slow bait.
What I liked is that
movie.
She's a strong character. Even though we're like in the 50s or 60s, she's still a strong woman. Yeah. Like, she doesn't care.
She's the reason they go.
She's prepared to go
and
on
what's
her
funny,
own.
That's one of my favorite scenes of the movie is he comes home, he knows
he's like, okay,
so he comes in there and he listens to her rant, and he's trying to think of not only as the husband, as the protector and the provider, but also his police mentality of what needs to be done. But he also realizes, as the husband, I'm not going to win this argument. He's like, nope. All right, what do I pack?
Yeah.
And they go, but there's moments where he really has to still rein her in. And then there's moments that she realizes they're kind of over their head.
Yeah.
So that's what I like. I think my favorite aspect of this whole movie, without saying anything, is the real life repercussions of decisions. So like, when you go to like in movies that we like Taken or anything like that, is okay. We know this guy's gonna be badass, so we know he's gonna go save everybody, kill everybody. He might get beat up along the way, but there's no repercussion later because they want to make a sequel. This one feels like two real people dealing with things, and so things happen to them as well as other people that affect their lives.
Very
and
much.
It made you like, geez, oh Pete. And it was way more violent than I expected.
It was. I did not think any of that was going to happen, especially in the time period we're in.
Yeah, and it's not a violent movie. It's got snippets.
It's got snips of violence, and I'm like, oh my gosh! But I'm gonna tell you, one of my favorite people is in this movie.
Mr. Burn noticed?
Yes. What's Matthew Donovan? Michael Donovan? I don't know what his name is.
Jeffrey Donovan.
Jeffrey?
Yes.
Sorry. Why am I trying to call him something he's not?
Because his name is Michael.
Oh, Michael. Sorry. Michael Burnnotis?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Anyways.
It's Jeffrey Donovan.
Jeffrey Donovan. Love him. And he's so creepy in this movie. He is a creeper.
He's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre mentality. Kind of like, how you doing?
How y'all doing? Why don't y'all come on inside here? But like.
That's what it felt like. It had a feeling of.
It was creepy, man.
Animal Kingdom. Well, you've never seen that, but that family that they're just they're crazy people.
That crazy family.
And but they also, they're going to defend each other no matter how crazy and what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. You get a vibe that there's a crime element to their family, but there's nothing really said that's what they are. And I like that too, that we never fully went into everything. Why are they crazy? What's so bad about it? It's just like, that's them.
Yeah, like when you get to their town and the sheriff's like,
like, you're gonna deal with them. Good luck with that.
No. It's a good movie. It's really good. And there are some moments that are a little bit long, or maybe it's just slow.
It's a slow-paced movie. It's because it's about, there's a whole underlining element too of not only are they on this trip, because they have to find where they went too. So there's like a road trip element. But it's really about them also having to come to terms with the loss of their son, which it's like the opening of the movie is him. So that's not a spoiler. His death is the catalyst to everything else that happens. So there's elements that they've never really dealt with. There's guilt. There's all the things you deal with when you lose a child. There's their long-term relationship that they've had. There's that trust. Of, if you're doing this, why are you not doing this? And somebody else trying to say, look, we can't do this. It's not going to happen. You're not seeing what's happening. So there's a lot of elements. It's not just two people going to rescue a kid.
Correct. And then there was this random little side story with Boo Boo. Is it Boo Boo?
Yeah. Boo Boo Stewart from
Boo Boo Stewart. Very random, small side story.
But it's important to the movie.
But it's important. And I feel like that helped resolve a little bit of the son aspect in a way.
Yeah.
But I felt like it also dealt with the idea of that time period of segregation.
Yeah.
Because he plays.
You need to stop turning everything into race, okay?
I'm just saying, the segregation of people.
You elect the woman vice president of color, now she won't stop.
But even the idea of family and what family is, and I think that reinforces her, like, I'm gonna do this because we see this kid that's, without a family because of choices. And she's without a family, but because of different circumstances and realizing I can fix this.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that gives him maybe courage to go fix his story. We don't get to see any of his story really, but you feel like, okay, he's going to fix it.
And all of this is wrapped in that revenge thriller mentality that's not really a revenge thriller. It's more of a rescue thriller.
Yeah.
But like I said,
it's very much a thriller.
But everything is real world grounded, which makes it a little more scary. And the ending is heavy, but it's
like everything we watched this weekend bad at heavy.
Yeah, but the ending is perfection to life.
It is. It's what would really happen.
It's not a Hollywood ending.
It's what would really happen.
It's most likely the way that would probably gone. And you probably won't like it.
I didn't
That's all I'm gonna say, but I loved it. I was like, thank God, I didn't just try to Hollywood twist it.
They didn't. Yeah. So, anyways, you should watch that.
It's in theaters now. I don't know if it got the early access release. I think it went straight to theaters. So go to the movies and watch
check it.
Give them a break.
Check 1, 2.
I kind of wrote in the review that this isn't really. I hate saying an actor. I like seeing them come back because they're never really gone. They're doing little things here and there. But I like that we've seen more Kevin Costner lately.
I agree.
Because, he showed up in Man of Steel. Then he did, what was that not long ago? We just watched something with him. Oh, crap.
I don't know.
It was just another movie. Oh, he's on Yellowstone. He got the TV series, which he's so good in. This movie could have easily been a Yellowstone spinoff side story. like a TV movie.
Let's go back to Bodyguard days
Scroll
and Dances
up,
with
scroll up.
Wolves.
I'm trying to see what the other one is.
Highwaymen.
No.
Molly's Game. Hidden
No.
Figures. I loved him in Hidden Figures.
Oh well.
Anywho.
Yeah.
I do
really
like
good.
me some Bodyguard and Dances with Wolves.
I'm not a fan of Bodyguard. I think it's an
Dances
overrated
with
movie.
Wolves?
It's a good movie. Dancing with Wolves is too damn long. That movie's about an hour too long.
But it got me.
It's
in
a
the
great
feels.
movie for
It
2
is.
hours.
And
And then it feels like it repeats itself.
well, and here's the thing. I watched Dances with Wolves with my mom on TV.
With commercials?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's
so
like
can you
12
imagine? I
hours.
spent like 3 hours with my mom. But we were crying during the whole literal dancing with the wolves thing. Like, it's actually a really good movie.
I do love Robin Hood.
Robin Hood's good.
I
Not Robin
even
Hood Men in Tights, but Robin Hood.
I love Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That
I
one
actually
too.
like Waterworld for all of its problems.
Did you?
Yes.
I don't
People
even
give
know if I
Waterworld a
saw
bad
that.
name. I like that movie. It's kind of fun.
All right.
It's ridiculous. But
There you go.
anyway, so that's pretty much it then.
All right. Tell
All
me.
right, so what you got? Oh, it's me, isn't
your
it?
turn, sir.
So this week we got all kinds of things coming out on Blu-ray
so
and DVD.
excited.
So we got Bill and Ted Face the Music coming out this week. The third and final, per se, chapter of the Bill and Ted franchise of the beloved peoples. Guest House is coming out, starring Steve-O and Pauly Shore, which we have the DVD, so we'll be talking about that
I'm
next week.
interested to see what that's going to be like.
The latest chapter and technically first solo film in the Puppet Master series, Blade the Iron Cross, is coming out, which is focuses on Blade.
Okay.
A Rainy Day in New York, which is a new Woody Harrelson movie. Not Woody Harrelson. Woody Allen. It should be Woody
Same
Harrelson.
thing.
We'll be talking about that next week as well. And then there's a few other random things coming out.
Okay.
It's your turn.
All right, my turn. There are new things coming out.
One of them I'm super excited for.
Theater and on the line.
I'm so excited
So
for
the
that
first one is the movie called Freaky.
So excited. That's
It's
the one we're
like-
going to probably go to the theater to see.
An interesting take on the Freaky Friday concept of the body switch. But this time it's a teenage girl and a serial killer.
The serial killer is played by Vince Vaughn.
It's going to be hilarious.
And I believe the movie
crazy.
is directed by the guy that did Happy Death Day.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So,
Okay, I'm on into it. And it comes out on Friday, which is Friday the 13th.
exactly.
Bum, bum, bum.
So we'll be probably seeing that one in the theater. Because I didn't get a
I'm
screen
ready
for
to
that
go.
one.
Okay, this is exciting to me. It's limited release right now, so see if it's in your area. It's a movie called Billy, and it's about Billie Holiday. And if you don't know who she is, you best learn your musical history.
That's why we have the word holiday now.
Holiday. Okay.
Oh, Fat Man's coming out. So sorry. I'm so excited.
Coming out in limited release, the movie Fat Men
Starring Mel Gibson as Santa
as
Claus
Kris Kringle.
and Walton Goggins.
Oh, you love that guy.
You do too.
Okay, something on video demand and digital, something called
Oh,
Last
hold
3
on.
Days.
You can't just skim over Mel Gibson as Santa Claus and act like he's just Santa Claus.
Hasn't he been Santa Claus before?
No.
Okay.
Weirdo. But this is more of like an action, violent movie where Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is working with the U.S. military on something.
No. The
right?
main story is that Santa Claus gives some rich kid a piece of coal. And he hires Walton Goggins, who's an assassin, to kill Santa Claus. But Santa Claus is already some badass that has fought and
Well,
killed.
it says he has to partner with the U.S. military.
Well, I'm just saying, he's already done stuff. So he's basically fighting this
Well,
assassin.
it also has Danny McBride.
I'm aware.
So I'm in.
I'm all into this movie.
Okay.
We're going to find it.
Last 3 days. Coming out on video demand and digital. Some guy, police officer. We'll see.
Oh, Jingle Jangle's already coming. That's a Netflix one.
Okay, Netflix. Babe, let me do my job.
Sorry, I'm excitable and you take too long.
Coming to Netflix, a movie called
Jingle
Jingle
Jangle.
Jangle, A Christmas Journey. It has Forrest Whitaker. I'm in. Doesn't matter what else is happening. You need to watch it. Also on Netflix, a movie called The Life Ahead. It's about a Holocaust survivor, so I'm probably going to be crying, but we're going to watch it. Limited release, something called The Climb. The Climb is about the tumultuous but enduring relationship between two men across many years. I don't know what this is. That's all. Limited release things. There you go. Next.
Oh, I'm allowed to speak again. Okay.
Well, I don't know. There's some stuff coming out on Tuesday. Video demand and digital, something called Jungle
we're going to talk
Land.
about that next week. We have that one.
Okay, Charlie Hunnam, who's your
Yes.
dude.
Who just was on I believe, Jimmy Fallon or Jimbo Kimmel talking about that he had coronavirus. And was
Oh,
on that.
goodness. Also, video demand and digital, something called Lie Exposed.
Oh, that's by you.
I don't even know what this is, but it's about alcoholism and somebody who knows. Dating Amber. Video Demanded Digital.
Just like an Amber Alert.
A gay teen and his lesbian counterpart pretend to be a couple to avoid suspicion.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, goodness. That's what's happening.
All right, so we got a couple of giveaways still going on and a couple of other ones fixing to happen.
Okay.
But right now, these are all up on the line at the moment. So we talked about one today, which is giving away 4K copies of For Vendetta. So you can get your own 4K copy of that one. That's delicious. We still have a couple of copies of Picard Season 1 to give away, so I've left the contest up.
I love me some Patrick Stewart.
I got some extra ones in, so if you entered and you didn't win, you feel free to enter again because I got some extra ones in.
There you go.
Then we still got a Nutcracker Tale, the Tom and Jerry movie that will be
super cute.
Probably doing this one this week to get rid of it because I want it out of my house. Then we also have copies of Train to Busan Presents Peninsula, the sequel to Train to Busan. And we also have copies of Bill and Ted Face the Music to give away.
Excellent.
So if you have not seen Bill and Ted Face the Music, then right there it is.
You are missing out,
Here's your chance. This is your chance to be excellent to one another.
Be excellent.
So we have these copies. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching our late night edition of Hollywood Matrimony Live, coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you check us out on the Instagram and the Twitter because we will be there. Make sure you like, subscribe, join, follow, share, tell your family, tell your friends, and go to the contest page on HollywoodMatrimony.com.
And join us next week for another episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. I will not promote any other show because